back. It's another dreadful day here in the Twilight Zone because we got another wacky comedy episode. That's right, the Twilight Zone experiments with a supernatural sports comedy. And considering the usual gimmicks of the series, as well as the fact that the Twilight Zone was famous for dark drama, you can probably guess how well this goofball comedy batted on base. I still can't comprehend why the Twilight Zone insisted on doing a bunch of comedy episodes because none of them have been even half decent. The good news is this episode is honestly not too unbearable, but the bad news, it's still far from a hit. If you haven't figured it out, The Mighty Casey is a baseball comedy. In this zaniness, we follow an old coach named Mouth McGarry, manager of the Zephyrs.
Loser! You're a loser!
The Zephyrs are the worst team in Major League Baseball, having lost every game they've ever been in for years. But one day, a brilliant scientist dubbed Dr. Stillman approaches the coach to sell him his first robo-baseball player, the Mighty Casey.
There it is! There it is!
Casey is programmed to be the best baseball player of all time and can win them the championship, where of course the coach hires the duo and Casey grants the Zephyrs a new rise to the top. And it's all goofy antics from here on out. This episode suffers the same problem all Twilight Zone comedies suffer. It's not funny. Once in a while there's a humorous chuckle moment, but the goofy antics are just lame, groan-worthy at worst, but mid at best. It wasn't torture, but I cannot say it was good either. The Twilight Zone's comedy is so corny, safe, schmaltzy, and cringy that it makes My Little Pony's comedy look like Dave Chappelle in comparison. It is that lame. The funniest dude in this tale is easily the coach. He has some good zingers and funny reactions that he did save a few lighthearted scenes. I just love these cynical snarkers, since they often feel so colorful because of their tired of life attitude. And the coach definitely got some nice gags. Sadly, the titular Casey is boring and forgettable. Casey's a robot, so he has no emotions, and they don't really grant him character until the end. He's just a lifeless android who pitches good, and that's it.
It's so boring!
His creator, Dr. Stillman, mostly does the talking for him, but it's just plain exposition and nothing comedic. The mechanic is actually played by our old robot lover, Corey, from The Lonely, and it looks like he finally graduated to having cyborg kids. What is with this guy and his love for robots? He's not bad, but like everyone in this comedy, he's given nothing to work with. And that best describes most of the episode. It has a funny concept, but nothing stands out. It's so dry. And they don't milk for any laugh-out-loud wackiness. It's a comedy episode that sucks at the comedy. There are so many cartoon sound effects that it got annoying fast. None of the jokes stuck with me. Casey is unfunny. And the baseball theme falls kind of flat, since they don't do too much with it. I was more bored than angry because it's painfully meh, and lacked any taste that I couldn't see anybody loving it either. The jokes are lame, and it's not even so bad it's good. It was dull. Not helping matters is that I'm not too into baseball. I'm more of a scary stories fan over a sports fan, though I truly think even the most hardcore baseball enthusiasts won't like it either, since more focus is on the robot getting into doofy shenanigans over his sports career. Eventually, Casey gets a boo-boo and breaks from a ball to the head, despite walking one off earlier.
Great continuity!
And the Baseball Association finds out he's a machine and disqualify him. However, the doc convinces them to give Casey a chance since he can turn his boy bot human with a heart, so he can be a real boy.
How could he be human without a heart? Beasley hasn't got a heart either. He owns 40% of the club.
So they give it a whirl because the Baseball Council is pro-science. Where it works, Casey becomes a real boy. But we get our twit ending. Thanks to gaining a heart, Casey learns to love and realizes that he doesn't like baseball anymore since he doesn't want to strike out those poor professional players and ruin their careers because he loves everyone now. Yes, really. The big joke is Casey becomes a lovey-dovey wuss who doesn't want to hurt people, and he quits to be a social worker to save lives. So the team still lost their MVP.
Don't!
It looks like game over, and the doc abandons his blueprints with the coach, where the old man decides that they should construct more new robots to be the bestest team ever, and it just ends. Yeah, that's the joke ending. Casey gets a new life because he loves now, and the coach and doc decide to make more machines, not learning a single thing from essentially cheating.
Cheating!
Was that supposed to be the joke? 'Cause it wasn't funny. This quote-unquote comedy is anything but. It's not insulting or infuriating, but it's so boring and lackluster. Believe it or not, there's an amazing backstory behind the making of this episode, which is far more intriguing than the plot we got. Apparently, there were dozens of production issues, fallouts, money losses, reshoots, and the original actor for the coach died during the recording for this. The coach we got was the replacement for the original dude. It's seriously more entertaining to read than watching this garbage. Heck, the reshoots took so much time and money that Rod Serling himself paid out of his own pocket to get this episode wrapped up. Really, Rod? You wanted to save this mess?
That's a snowball. He's a bit late.
Make it stop!
His loss. The sad reality is, the mighty Casey sucks. It's another lousy comedy that won't make you laugh, won't wow you with the goofy premise, because it's mostly played straight. The actors have no good lines to knock out of the park, the baseball theme feels wasted, and it all feels like a bad game you'd want to turn off. I grant this inning a bronze skull. Not the worst indignity of the series, but a forgettable, bland sports card you'll want to trade for something better. What more can I add? The Twilight Zone pitched a zany sports comedy, only to totally strike out.
The Twilight Zone.